I want to hear your wife do the hottie toddy one day.
You might.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm
She
saying.
can't right now. She got the laryngitis.
That's
Congratulations. Do you
Man,
think you'll get a whole weekend out
let
of
me
it?
tell you. Fingers crossed. I'll tell you this. My armpits got a workout last night.
The armpit.
Here's what happened. We go to my daughter's.
You better explain that.
Okay.
I know you're into some semi-kink, but armpits I never thought was
Man, she got to my armpits last night. We go to my daughter's Christmas chorus performance for the holidays last night. And my brother-in-law, whose daughter is also in the chorus, saved us a seat. So we get in there. I sit there next to him. My wife has almost complete laryngitis, okay? And she leans over to St. Rob and says, I'm sorry, I can't speak, but thank you for saving the seat. And St. Rob, my brother-in-law, turns to both of us and says, oh, no, what happened? And I said, I prayed really, really hard. And Santa came early.
Santa's real.
And
The high fives again. Other dads are just air humping. Nice. You showed her.
Meanwhile, flames
We're all
in,
thinking it. He said it.
oh, my God.
flames in her
I
eyeballs.
couldn't resist it. I could not resist. Well, she knows my vulnerability. Armpits.
Your
And
armpits.
She went after them immediately. Even while we were sitting there, 5 minutes from the chorus performance starting, she went right
Is
after
it a
my
pincer
armpit.
movement or a poke?
Poke. And she knows. She knows that's my vulnerability. And sometimes she does it for. Now, that one I think was probably warranted. But sometimes she does it when it's not warranted. You know, I'll just be sitting there and she thinks I'm chewing too loudly or something.
You get a poke? In the pit?
Armpit poke. And I'll say there was no call for that. That was over the line.
Over the line.
That was over the line is what I always
In a
said.
public forum like that.
Does she have a weak spot?
I haven't found it. I've been searching.
No.
Still probing?
I'm still probing. I haven't
Well, you
found
got to chip through the ice first.
I haven't found it yet. But she knows I'm very, very sensitive on my armpits.
Yeah.
As many are, I assume.
Yeah, I guess.
She
It's
goes-
different for everybody.
Oh, she goes right after 'em.
Got you good.
Oh, yeah. And I thought, too, I was safe because there was 150 people there. And we're all seated. You know, it was getting ready to start.
Now, you went over the line.
I guess so. Well, I knew it was a risk.
Well, she couldn't say anything.
She went to it. No, she couldn't. She can't.
Yeah.
She hadn't been able to say anything for a while.
She had to go physical on you.
My son, last night, he would be in the back seat, goes, Mom, what's for dinner? And he couldn't hear her because he's listening to his music. And she'd turn to me and go, tell him we're going to Freddy's. And I have to turn and go, we're going to Freddy's. That was like a
Like
translator.
a UN translator.
I was.
We're having steak burgers.
Having steak burgers. Ask if he wants the French fry sauce. Do you want the French fry sauce? He does.
He wants the sauce.
It's great. What a time. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, you'll remember these moments.
Now, last night, this is so my son. Now we're like on pins and needles because this is the time when we start to really hear from more college. So far, he's in at UNC Greensboro.
Yeah.
He's in at Ole Miss. He's in at some smaller colleges.
And to reset the table, he is not in any rush to decide, correct?
Right. He has till May 1st. Okay. So I think if all else fails, Ole Miss is there. We'll hear from High Point University in the next 2 weeks. All those. I would love for him to go to a state-supported university. I think it's a good system, and I think it's a little less in the pocketbook. And he's closer to home than Ole Miss, obviously. So last night, he gets a call from a friend of his, and he answers the phone, and even though it's not on speaker, we can hear, like, through the earpiece, And the kid says, are you ready for this? Give me a drum roll, please. And my son says, what do you mean? And he goes, give me a drum roll. He goes, how am I going to do a drum roll? I don't have a drum. And he goes, drum roll, you idiot. And my son goes, I'm in the car with my parents. What are you talking about? And he goes, no, what I mean is I have some news. I have some news for you. He got into Appalachian. The other kid got into Appalachian.
Yeah.
And so immediately I turn to my wife and I say,
Our son doesn't know what a drum roll is. What?
What? That's what I said.
You were about to insult your son and his friend.
I did.
Well, if he can get in.
I said,
We know our
I
way.
said, she knows him better than I do. I said, how much smarter is he than our son?
I'd say they're equal level.
I said,
Got a good shot. Now hand me a lozenge.
I said quietly, I said, is he smarter than our son? And he says,
Is this a good thing? This is a good thing.
I thought it was a good thing. I thought it was a good thing that the other kid got in. But then, of course, we're tearing through the text, the emails, all that stuff. Nothing yet.
Yeah.
But they don't go out. My son said they go out at different times. So don't read anything into the fact that we haven't heard yet. And by the way, this kid heard by text. Mm-hmm. He got a text that said, "Dear so-and-so, congratulations, you're part of the Appalachian family." And I thought, is somebody winding him up? A text?
You got to be careful with those because every year some school has to say we accidentally send out texts for either financial aid or acceptances that weren't supposed to go out.
To be honest, I thought it would be email at the very at the most technological level would be email.
So the kids understand.
Text is anybody could sort of be pretty easy to get a number. But
your email seems more easily verified.
Absolutely. But according to my son, it's real. And he's
so after all the schools are in,
mm-hmm.
he'll still have to make a decision, right? I mean, he's not dead set on when I hear from.
No,
it's a yes.
No, we cast a wide net.
So the hats get lined up.
Yes, and he'll have to make the decision, and then we'll start visiting. You know, we visited a couple, and now we would visit. Mm-hmm. Appalachian State or UNC Wilmington or even Ole Miss. I mean, I think we'll probably wind up going to Mississippi for a weekend.
God, I can't wait.
Me neither.
I can't wait.
It's a real possibility.
I've been through there.
That's right, because you can't fly and you can't drive through Alabama.
No, my wife lived in Alabama, and she swore she will never set foot back into Alabama. So she said,
"Got to take the northerly route."
Take the northern route,
well, all the way to
Memphis
and go south. That's right. Memphis and turn left. Because she said she won't set one foot in. And he said, "Can I apply to Auburn or Alabama?" And she said, "No, over my dead body." And I said, "But if you had lived in Mississippi, do you think it's much different than Alabama? I mean, they're similar states."
Yeah.
And she said, "I don't care. I didn't like living in Alabama," and so she refused.
Golly,
to apply.
I got a friend who literally runs the honors program at University of South Alabama.
I think so.
I could pull some strings if you'd like.
I think, please.
Is he honors material?
No.
Let
me get back to you on that. Maybe depend on where he is.
I really can't wait for you all to travel as a family to Ole Miss.
Oh yeah,
I just picture that. What's that Nicolas Cage movie where he's like, I picture
Hawaii.
you. I picture you calling us from some payphone. Yeah. I'm in Memphis. The flight's delayed. They stole our cell phones.
Don't hang up.
Where am I?
Right. It's really a possibility. This is about school, I guess, and learning and books. A book has been returned to an Australian school library that was overdue by 120 years.
Ooh.
120 years overdue.
Old book.
Queensland. A book was recently returned to the library at a grammar school, Toowoomba School, grammar school. And it still is operating. A copy of Great Expectations by Charles Dickens has been returned.
Signed by the author.
What else could it be?
It was
the Bible?
It was checked out by a man named Arthur Lamb, who was a student in 1902 at the grammar school. He checked out the book. It was due back in January of 03, so I guess of 1903. I guess he took it out before Christmas break and was supposed to return it. Never did. His great-grandson, John Lamb, discovered the book in a box of possessions, and the book is in perfect condition. Apparently never even cracked the spine. He had it, put it in a box, and that was it.
Sounds like me.
So, yeah.
That's a thick read.
I hated Great
Expectations.
Read.
I couldn't get through the first 5 pages.
I hated that book.
Yeah.
Ninth grade.
But isn't that something? I think I'd put it behind glass and tell the story beside it. That was returned after 120 years.
Is that the oldest book in the library now, I wonder?
I would bet. Wouldn't you think?
I don't know. You said the library's still around. They must have some old editions of something.
Yeah, it's a school. I mean, it's a but does a grammar school that stays open that long?
They don't usually have the same.
Yeah. Would you think that it would
volumes that a public library would?
Yeah,
they're much smaller.
I think
our school library was small.
Ours too. I would think you'd go through the books and get new prints and new editions because they wear out
after 20 years.
And this one is 120 years old. So the library has said they are dropping the late fee. which had been incurred, which had gotten up to $10 Australian. And then they say a huge thank you to the Lamb family because they could have kept it themselves. And now the book's somewhat valuable because it's that old. It's in mint condition.
Yeah.
It's in great condition. We've played, when libraries go down, when they close, it can be emotional for some people.
Oh, brother.
Heard
Not this poor man.
They closed a library in Pennsylvania some years ago, and he had spent his youth there. He had played sports out on the lawn.
This obviously is affecting emotionally.
I am emotionally.
Talk to me a little bit.
Well, I grew up here. I live here, and I used to play football here. And I can't believe anybody's going to close this damn thing down. And I'm a carpenter, and I couldn't,
He's losing it.
Yeah.
In the background, there literally is a wrecking ball going through the wall of the library, and a crowd's out there just loving it.
Is that upset?
Oh, yeah? What are you kidding? It's like stupid. Why would they shut down this library?
You grew up with this library?
Oh, definitely. I grew up on Decatur Street.
So you've been coming here your whole life?
Basically, yeah.
You hear the crowd.
It came in like a wrecking
loved it.
ball.
Yeah.
The crowd's cheering. He's like, I can't do it.
That was years ago.
That was been a while. And that
Steelers play there now.
Yeah, I guess they took it down for the Steelers, yes.
Would you
Exactly.
lose it if something in your beloved childhood, like your old barbecue joint?
Yeah, that would hurt. That, my elementary school, my the middle or high school, the barbecue place, the Sir Pizza. Can you imagine?
Pickleball court?
Can you imagine? Ooh, that would hurt me.
Why would anybody turn on this pickleball court?
That's where my dream started.
Where Diesel started. I made a lot of friends here, and then scraped them off, and forgot to call them back when I got better. You kidding me?
How old were you when you found this?
I was in my early 50s.
Oh, let's move on.
You're emotional about this. Does it affect you emotionally?
Yeah, what are you kidding? It is. Yes, it is. You're darn right. I'm emotional about it.
Let's move on.
Back to you in the studio.
Let's get somebody else out here.